Now, if you've been on my channel a while, you'll know I have already recorded a playthrough of this as Raph, but it was just the raw gameplay footage. I wasn't on camera. No commentary. I figured, why do it again? Well, it's one of my favorite games ever, especially on the NES. And I figured, some people like to watch just the raw gameplay, and some people like the format, you know, where I talk. And express myself on camera, and gesticulate, and share memories and experiences. And I might possibly have been motivated to do this sooner rather than later because of Mr. PK in the universe. Thanks a lot. You and your Turtles retrospective going viral. No, seriously, I'm happy for you. Yeah, you know what? Maybe we can't go back to being kids. Can't go back in time, necessarily, but... I'm playing this on a good old Nintendo. With Old Faithful Rectangle on a CRT. So it's like, well, you know what? I'm sort of time traveling. I mean, as much as I've played this game, like, I played the ever-loving shit out of this as a kid. By rights, I probably should be able to, like, beat this without even getting hit, but... I had the game memorized, but not quite as intimately as when I was a child. To where I could basically, like, sleepwalk my way through it. Because I, like, 98% of the time, let's say, I had to play games like this alone. So I was kind of forced to be the last Ronin. If I wanted to see the ending, and not just a game over screen. But honestly, even though the arcade game is, like, a superior piece of software, as far as the speed, the graphics, the overall presentation, I have to take my hat off to Konami's team for taking, you know, 1983 Famicom hardware and managing to turn out a pretty dang good arcade translation. And honestly, in some ways, I prefer the gameplay of this with its responsiveness. Like, your turtle does precisely what you want him to do. Like, whether it's the rising attack or the jump kick. It's like, one of the downsides of the arcade is, like the NES, it still is just using 2 buttons. But the attack button is kind of a context sensitive in that, like, instead of reliably doing exactly the kind of aerial attack you want, like, depending on, I think, where you are in the animation, you either do this kind of more of a floaty kick, or you'll do the animation of the rising attack, but while falling, and it leaves you wide open, because the animation takes a while to play out. And you descend more slowly than during your jump kick. And with the action being so fast and frenetic, sometimes you'll end up doing the wrong action. It gets you annihilated. At least that's my experience playing the arcade game once it was ported to home systems. Now, of course, some of the ports of the arcade, like direct ports of the arcade ROM, the emulation quality has not always been great, so that also adds a little bit of imprecision to the controls. But I think most people that like play it on the Cowabunga collection probably won't notice that being too big of a problem. I know some people comment and be like, oh, you can just do the A and B special attack, do the whole game. It's like, I mean, you can coast through a lot of the game on that, but, like, that's not a I win button by any means. And there's even some of the foot soldiers, it's not the best attack to use on them. So you definitely do want to mix it up. But there is some misinformation out there as far as, like, how it affects your score. Like, it doesn't. Like, every bad guy is worth 1 point. That's it. Even the bosses. Doesn't matter what attack you use, except with environmental kills, you often don't get any points for those. Oh no, the pizza at Science fell. Oh, come on. See? I got no points for that. Even though it was super cool, I deflected his own attack back to him. Oops. You go the wrong direction. To his credit, Bebop will at least, like, fake you out sometimes with what he's trying to do. Perhaps he's just a smidgen smarter than Rocksteady. A smidgen. Hey. Hey now. I guess it's because I'm not playing as Raph. Mike's not angry enough. But nonetheless, Bebop is defeated. This music is such a jam. All of it is. I'm reading it right, man. They're in the room. Oh, how many days did I come home from school after being bullied? It was like, this was one of the games where I could take back some control of my life as a youngster. The bullying and the physical abuse started as early as 6 years old in school, so I needed all the help I could get in my free time. But for some reason, I didn't apply the same level of perseverance to beating the first NES Turtles as this one. Although part of that's because we only ever rented it. Actually, I take that back. We borrowed it, I think, from one of my cousins who had it. So I didn't really spend much time with it. Like, I figured out how to beat the dam and disable the bombs, but then I would just get annihilated after, because I didn't understand, like, that kind of game where it's, like, very much in the vein of Zelda II, Link's Awakening, or even, you know, it has more in common with something like Shinobi than it does the game we're seeing right now. If I play this correctly, I should not even need that extra life. Hooray. Classic Konami explosions. Turtle soup, he says. Ah, the level that was added by Konami for the home version. I have mixed feelings about the extra levels and the 2 bonus bosses in this. Like, on one hand, I appreciate that somebody at Konami thought that, like, hey, we should add a little extra value to the people who buy the game. Especially if someone was thinking along the lines of, like, hey, this is a huge graphical downgrade, and we can only have up to 2 players instead of up to 4. So we'll at least give them a couple more levels and some extra bosses. So I appreciate that, but I mean, for as much as I love this game and am willing to replay it till the end of time, it can be really repetitive. Like, not as bad as some beat-em-ups can be. Especially if you're playing 2-player, it doesn't feel as repetitive. Like co-op really enhances this experience. So, again, I have mixed feelings. Like, I appreciate the extra value, but I also kind of feel like it makes the game feel like more of a slog sometimes. But as a kid, I liked it, 'cause, you know, it felt like I was going on a longer adventure, you know, than just in the arcade. And I appreciated that, you know, Eastman and Laird, you know, created 2 new characters just for this release. And at least, the dojo, I'm not so sure, but at least this level has a precedent in the cartoon. Because there's the episode where, you know, the Stone Warriors unleash the weather control machine. And it ends up snowing in the middle of summer in New York. So at least this level is based on that notion. And if Tora is indeed a intergalactic bounty hunter from Dimension X, makes sense that he might be using some of Krang's weather control technology. Or have been given it by Krang and Shredder upon arrival in our dimension. Or the turtle's dimension, I should say. Because the turtles have way more pizza in their dimension than we know in ours. There it is. Sweet jacket, dude. Mikey, his weapon doesn't have as much actual reach as the as his sprite would seem to indicate. Like, it looks like his nunchucks can reach almost as far as Don's bow, but that's not actually the case. There you go. Where'd he go? Oh, Mikey. Totally tubular, dudes! Spring is here. Hey. That was rude. These guys suck. Definitely wanna annihilate them as quickly as possible. Nice try. Unacceptable. Oh, shucks. The question is, why are we back on foot? On the highway. Oh well. Such is life. Such is Turtle. Oh, I almost had them all stopped. Okay, there we go. Get carried away. Ah, right, rocket skateboards. This is what we thought the future was gonna have. Really? That still got me. What a jerk. As long as you don't let them start dropping bombs, you're good. Hooray! It's time to go back in the party wagon. Hey dude, you think if we go buy Pizza Hut, I've got a personal game pizza coupon. No, instead, let's just... we'll just fly off the highway, and that's how we'll do it. And cause Master Splinter to get captured. Brilliant move, boys. Come on in, boys. Water's fine. Yeah, you don't get rid of them right away if they make your life miserable. Almost as miserable as the foot soldiers are right now. Nice fake out. First time you play this, you're like, oh no, what boss is it gonna be this time? I've had enough of being grappled already, guys. Come on. Yay. This blocky bastard. You can kind of kite him up and down, but like you have to be constantly ready to move. 'Cause, his bitch slap with that flamethrower is no joke. Sometimes he'll still hit you when you think you're got enough distance, but there's probably an even better strategy, but this is just... If I hadn't been so sloppy earlier, I could have saved the pizza and given myself a little bit more cushion with this guy, but... Oh well. Hey, hey, hey. Unacceptable. It's definitely one of those bosses that benefits from two players. Like, one person can kind of keep his attention, the other can take shots from his flanks, but... When a boss finally starts flashing in a classic game, it's like, huh, finally, progress. He's not invincible after all. Wait, why is it... Premature arthritis? Possibly. Yes, I think this is framed as like Shredder's dojo, basically. Either that or the dojo of Shogun specifically. I don't know. I always figured it was Shredder's, especially when this level got a remix in the Hyperstone heists. Definitely home to the most annoying enemies. Especially because they're a lot spongier than the classic enemies. Well, they do know how to make an entrance. Gosh. When you zig instead of zagging. Alright, dude. These cats. There is a method to these. If you can hit them right before, or right as they're initiating that jumping attack, you can... I guess, I don't know if stun locks... No, that's probably not totally the correct way of looking at it, but you can keep them pinned to one side and repeat, but your timing needs to be spot on. Or they'll pounce on you and deplete your health really fast. Finally. Jeez. Come on. I don't want to lose a life to one of these guys. Looks like I might. I'm definitely not playing as well as I did in the previous recording. I think partially just being able to be in the zone and not be concerned with the camera and occasionally speaking to y'all. Can we just get to the pizza? Pizza time. Get off. I need every last bit of health for this bastard. Which, like, in this form, he's not even, in my opinion, as bad as Granitor, or even, Trag, but when his head's floating, that creates a, variability that's sometimes hazardous to your turtle's health and happiness. Thankfully, he doesn't have as much health as a lot of the other bosses, so... So you don't have to have quite as much endurance as some of the others. Oof. That's what I get for recording multiple videos in one day. Especially on the old Nintendo Entertainment System. There's no mercy. Alright, not a great start, Jessica. Come on. You can do it! It's for the people. Really, I don't need to do this, but in the extremely unlikely event that I would get knocked back and their blasts were still on screen. I guess that could not have happened, but that was the rationale. I just don't. Yeah, son of a biscuit. They're going down right away. Hey. Not a fan. You're supremely annoying. I am disappointed in myself sometimes. I was behind that, come on. That was some deep-fried pan pizza-sized bullshit. Did I say that right? Deep dish, pan, I wonder. This is what happens when you don't have a script. Why does the pizza have to be right here? Couldn't it be at the boss? Get out of here, roadkill Rodney. Nobody asked you for your opinion. Oh, wise guy, eh? How many of y'all ever got killed by that door flying out? So you fight Trag a lot like Granitor, but sometimes he's even snappier with his weapon strike. So and sometimes he'll just fire a rocket point blank range too, so it's like... Oh, no, no, no! This is not how I want it to go. My pizza toppings are flashing before my eyes. What a bitch. Oh, you son of a... That sucks. That really sucks. You know, even though I'm worn out and tired, I was still like, maybe I can get the one credit clear finally. Because I have done it, just not on camera. Because you all know how it goes. Any of you who have ever filmed anything or streamed, like, you can be ultra proficient at a game, and as soon as you turn the camera on, weird shit happens. Something goes wrong that's never gone wrong before. I'm still gonna try to beat Krang as cleanly as I can. I used to have a strategy for him where I didn't die. Like, unlike the other bosses, for some reason I'm struggling to remember the exact pattern I used with Krang. I don't know why I can remember all the others, but not him. I think it was something like this, where you, like... Because in a lot of bosses, when you jump kick them, you either want to hit, like, the very front of their hitbox and then immediately retreat, or you want to clear to the other side of their hitbox, outside of their counterattack range. But Krang, it's almost like you gotta... I hope I'm explaining it correctly. It's almost like you've got to stay partially inside his hitbox. Because, like, his counterattack kick has such a wide reach that, like, he'll still hit you after the end of your jump if you're trying to, like, clear to the other side of him. It's almost like you've got to land in front of him to an extent. I don't know if I explained that correctly, but that's what I feel like I did. Except, like, you're supposed to land, like, further into the screen, like, towards you, away from him. Basically, like, evading him that way instead of laterally. I think that's what I did, but that's easier said than done. He's such a bitch. with his counterattacks, and they're so fast. And they're so far-reaching. Yeah, that's starting to feel right. Like, I'm still playing poorly compared to me as a youngster, but... Oh, man, that sucks. Oh, that's the other thing, too. It's like you almost want to, start your jump kick, like, on the way down. I'm sure there's other strategies. That seems like that's the one that I used as a kid. I want to say, I'm trying to remember my video where I played as Raph. I think I tried to use the kiting method, kind of like I did with Trag and Granitor, but it's harder with Krang to do that. So you never know exactly what he's going to counter with. Although I guess you should always expect the kick, because it's the worst. Really now? Cripes. What a bitch. That's right. I called you a bitch. Deal with it. You can just flash all you want. It's like Krang knows. Not only am I tired, my wrist is really starting to hurt pretty badly. But also that I'm making a film. And was trying to do better than the last one. Asshole. You know, maybe I can't go back to being a kid, but I can play games like this now and use the bad language that they sometimes call for. I mean, I don't believe in bad language per se. That's such a Puritan concept, but... You know, the stuff that's arbitrarily not family-friendly. Even though you could say crap, and that's considered, like, okay for TV. Makes no sense. Oh, come on. I normally at least do better on Shredder than on Krang. Saki, you fool! That's a big ol' nope. Oh, you thought she was sick, Shredder. Now you cannot clone yourself anymore. Take that! I still didn't need those extra lives. I can at least say that much. Good thing I dropped my controller after the game's done. See? Treat your Ultra Games cassette carefully. They referred to the cartridge as a cassette. Because they figured Americans were still trained to look at all of their physical media as cassette tapes. And they weren't totally wrong. The chairman of the Horde, all the bosses. Enemies aplenty. The cat is named Vincent Van Growl. Screenshots of all different levels. The screens of the crime. Somebody got paid to write that, and it wasn't me. Game over, man. It's game over. But in a good way. Alright, y'all. That was Turtles 2, the arcade game on NES, revisited. I hope you enjoyed that, especially if you prefer this style of playthrough versus just the raw gameplay footage, but figured out one both out there for y'all, so. Thank you very much for watching. Have an excellent rest of your day. May the turtle power guide you on your way. And if you can eat it as part of your diet, then may the pizza power also guide you. Laters.